Hello. Welcome to another episode of Good Morning Source Gaming. Let's get this music off. Let's get these chatting here. Boom. Joining the call. Name. It's time.
Nice.
Whoa.
Just going to drop you all in there.
What's up?
Bright and beautiful morning. Or at least I think it was bright and beautiful for me anyway, which is a very rarity in England.
It is the middle of a tropical storm here in Miami, so it is not this thing.
It's 10:32 a.m. and I need coffee.
You've come to the right place. Coffee Central.
Okay.
Although, actually, I've already had my coffee and now I have cereal. Because I realised the second I hit the stream that I have not had lunch yet. So, it's Rice Krispie time for me.
I grabbed one hard-boiled egg and a Lara bar, so I'm ready to party.
I have an apple fritter because it's Fritter Friday. Bless up.
Nice.
It's Fritter Friday somewhere. I don't understand time zones.
No one understands time anymore. It's time is an illusion.
2020. I'm pretty sure it was about 8 years
ago. The existence of a fritter makes it Friday automatically.
I'll believe that. Although I don't know if I've ever had a fritter, to be honest.
Oh, it's so good.
I don't know what a fritter is. I don't really think you get them over here. A portion
it's
of
basically
dough, meat, seafood.
it's a clump of dough.
Uh-huh.
Except they've baked like whole ass chunks of apples into it.
Ah.
And then they fry it and then they glaze it.
Jex,
it does look very nice, actually. I think I have.
I've got a question
before. Mm-hmm.
I've got a question for you.
Yes.
I could have just Googled this myself, but I didn't care enough. But now that you're here, you were replying to somebody that like John Com was replying to something. What is a jacket potato? That's some sort of British thing.
Oh, jacket potato. Yeah, it's like baked potato, basically. We just have a silly name for it. You get
so underwhelming.
You get a potato and then you stab it with a fork all over, and then
I'm gonna be
you wrap it in its tinfoil, which is the jacket, and then you cook that in the oven for like 45 minutes.
I'm gonna be real, gamers. Nice jacket potato sounds like a derogatory term.
You jacket potato.
Yeah, no, it sounds like, take a look at that fucking jacket potato over there.
Man, get a life.
Yeah. Like...
that's what a jacket potato is. And you cut it open, you have it with beans or barbecue sauce or cheese or whatever filling you want. But it's basically just a baked potato.
You guys put beans on everything over there, man.
I mean, I'm going to have it for dinner. A sweet potato jacket potato is really nice. I guess you'd call it a sweet jacket potato or a jacket sweet potato.
Beans are like the American equivalent of like putting cheese on everything.
Yeah.
No, I forgot I had a tin of it, so I was looking through my cupboard trying to decide what to have for breakfast, and I just pulled out a tin of baked beans. I was like, "Oh shit, nice!" But I didn't want a potato for breakfast.
I like jacket potato. It sounds whimsical. So when I used to work at Universal Studios, we had several employee grills, and the grills were behind the larger restaurants. If you want to know how the sausage is made, but the main employee grill had a potato bar, so it had baked potatoes and like bunch of toppings. And then right next to it, it also had a hot dog bar. Like the hot dog and the potato shared the same bar. So you could get, chili, cheese, sour cream, like just a bunch of stuff, not like all the nacho toppings, like anything you could think of. And they would weigh it. It was, Menchie style. You weigh it and that's what you pay. I did get to the point where I used to cut the potato in half and put a hot dog in the potato and have a hot dog potato.
I just want to say I actually looked up jacket potato beans because I wanted to see. I was really
just
hoping,
what he's getting into.
No, I was hoping in my mind I would find just a baked potato filled to the brim with beans. But part of me was also like, I don't think that's gonna happen. That sounds too fucking stupid. There's a Shutterstock image for it.
Yeah, that's a jacket potato with beans, man. You can put some cheese on top. Put some, put some cheese. You can put some avocado.
It
really
looks
do it
like a shitpost.
I'm surprised it isn't a shitpost.
This is like this is.
That does seem like somebody making fun of beans on toast. That's
Yeah,
what it looks like.
this is like oh, the British are so cultured. Check out their fine cuisine, and it's just a potato covered in beans.
Nice. I'll have you know the jacket potato is
nice.
lovely. That one looks good.
Yeah, the cheese classes it up.
Yeah, mine is more likely to look like the second image than the than the last image, though.
I'll say I feel like in America, beans and toast gets a bit of a bad rap. I think that is a fine breakfast, especially if you throw an egg on there.
Yeah, beans on toast. Yeah, beans on toast is nice. With an egg is you can have it on there or not. The one that I can't stand, which some people here in the UK do like, is tomatoes on toast. Like canned tomatoes, and then just pour that over the toast instead. I don't get it. I feel like that's.
Is it possible to put one of those images on the stream we're getting?
Doing it right now.
The second one,
everyone's like, please show the shitpost.
Yeah, the second one doesn't look real, but it is real.
Yeah, I'm just trying. I need to find
it is a thing that someone
it.
at some point has paid money for to put in their article.
I just really need a high quality image of a jacket potato with beans, and this will do it. This is the perfect one. Potato. But while I'm doing that, how is everybody today? How's the week been?
It's all right.
It's been okay. It's always my company had Indigenous people / Columbus, depending on how racist you feel, day off last week. So it was a short week, and I feel like short weeks are great, but then they're followed by regular weeks, and those weeks feel so long.
It's like when you come back from like annual leave.
Holy shit, we got $5 from Rivers, and then Raio just bribed us, even though he's on stream.
You got it. It's obligatory. It's not even a bribe. I've been doing this for a long time.
It's a bribe.
Next time, just bring the coffee with you and post it to us.
Next time.
My girlfriend just freaked out because she thought the dog peed everywhere, but actually I had spilled coffee. And I don't know if that makes her. I think she's just less mad at the dog and mad at me now.
Next time, just put the coffee in the jacket potato.
Just be like, no, this isn't my coffee spill. This is the dog's coffee spill.
We call that a potato cubano. The coffee in. Yeah.
I like how Gray Shores in chat was like, I didn't expect baked beans in the potato. I'm like, yeah,
I don't understand what you guys thought it was going to be.
I thought it was going to be on the side. I didn't realize it was going to be in the potato.
Nah, yeah. You got to fuse the two together.
Okay, like when you told me that there was going to be potatoes on this thing, I thought, okay, that's a nice side dish. Not like it's a volcano and the potatoes are just overflowing.
To be fair,
the beans
I don't know if
dominate the potato.
But baked beans in the UK are different than our baked beans. They're not sweet. They're not sweet
over here.
Yeah.
No. Sweet beans. The only beans I've had that are sweet are like the red beans that you get in Japan a lot.
Do you know what? But you know what? The American baked beans are also are great. They're like it's like a barbecue thing mostly, especially the Boston style one, because it's basically almost like a barbecue sauce there. And
yeah, fuck you, Nan. We're better.
This is one of our national cuisines, and I will fight everyone.
So you know what I see on social media? On social media, when Americans make fun of beans on toast, British people always make fun of country biscuits with like biscuits and gravy. But here's the thing:
biscuits and gravy's a weird one.
Slaps. Yeah.
Yeah, biscuits and gravy is like the most delicious fucking thing. It's because like I think once again you don't understand what like biscuit gravy is. It's like a pork gravy. It's like
I mean it's not so much that I think there's a sense where what you guys call biscuits is very different to what we call biscuits.
We call biscuits. That's true.
Yeah, better.
Like I'm thinking biscuits and gravy is very, very weird. Like you get a packet of like McVitie's tea biscuits and then just pour a whole load of gravy over the top of it.
I'm in this gravy right now.
So I'm not dipping my biscuits in my tea anymore. I'm now just dipping it into my beef stock. It just
Hey,
doesn't work.
you guys want to hear a fun story about British biscuits?
You go
Go
for
off for it.
During the recording sessions for the Beatles' Abbey Road, they were having like an argument in the recording studio, like in the little recording room. But in the actual studio, Yoko Ono was hanging out because she was just like sick or something, and George Harrison left a pack of Mrs. Vicky's digestive biscuits on like an amp, and she like reached over and just started eating them. And apparently at some point George Harrison turned around and went, "That bitch!"
That's fucking awesome.
Don't touch another man's biscuits, you know.
And then apparently that just led to an even bigger argument.
That bitch.
That bitch.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But baked beans work with quite a few things, although there seems to be this running meme online of putting baked beans in places where they definitely don't belong. Such as
BWS
in an orange.
brings up a good point. I thought that when Americans mock beans on toast, British folk make fun of the school shootings.
Oh,
What?
I had like
That's
I was,
a great image. Colin, are you looking at this?
Yeah, I see that. I saw on oh my god. I was playing CS:GO with a couple of friends, and we were absolutely dunking on this other team, and this one guy on the other team was Finnish, and so he kept going on about shit like that, and I was like, "Hey man, I graduated a year ago. Like, fuck them kids. They can figure that shit out. I don't." Which is like the darkest joke, but I don't know how else you return to like video game banter like that. I'm like, "Hey man, like
Guys,
life finds a way." Like, I don't.
The vast majority of American kids are not killed in school shootings. You just got to think of it that way.
The vast.
I want to see some stats about that, Spazzy. I don't know if I necessarily believe you.
I should go into politics. I'm like, 99% of children do not die in school shootings. 99%.
So who needs gun
99.
crime?
Crazy.
Oh no, we've had something really stupid politics-wise over here recently. We're currently in like the middle of a school holiday, like a half term. It's called. There's like one every term basically. But there are lots of children in underprivileged places that sort of need school dinners, for their food. And so there was a bill sort of being pushed to try and give kids free school dinners over this week break, so that they didn't starve. And our government voted against it, which a lot of people haven't been very happy about. But one guy was like, in his speech, why they shouldn't do it was just like, well, kids are starving all the time, so why should we do anything different now? It's like, well,
this is their norm. They're
this is the norm. We don't mess with the norm, It's...
I mean, gamers, not to get political, but I heard Spitting Image came back.
It has. It's on BritBox. I've only seen an advert for it.
I hope you're very happy about that. And then, like, I guess within the same time frame, like, the American Spitting Image came back with Borat 2 Back in Black. Like,
I watched Borat 2.
Yeah.
So I did enjoy it. None of my other housemates did. They couldn't stand that humor.
I haven't watched it yet.
It was
Amazon is pushing it hard.
Oh yeah.
It was very fine. Like, it was
just like okay.
It's very good, but it's nowhere as good as the first one.
Okay, so like if you were to suggest, because I've never watched any of the Borats, should I start with Borat 1 before going into it?
You should absolutely start with Borat 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Borat 1 holds up because it has like a plot and like all of the issues.
Plot.
Like all of the issues that are addressed in that movie are still relevant today. This movie just felt like a second season of his show Who Is America, and I kind of wish it was that.
I haven't actually seen Who Is America. I know I've heard of some of the things that happened in it, but I actually didn't know what was going on.
Because like the grand majority of this movie is either Borat playing not Borat, or it's like his daughter, and it's like Okay, so is this a Borat movie? Like,
Yeah, that's the thing, because he can't play Borat because everyone recognizes him
yeah,
from the
exactly.
first movie.
So
he has to it's Borat. It's Sacha Baron Cohen dressed as Borat, dressed as someone else for like half the movie.
He's playing mind games with everyone. Playing 4-dimensional chess.
There's layers.
There's many layers to this Borat potato.
So EWS says, not to get political or anything, but do you think there will be a partner showcase this week? And my answer is, if you vote, then maybe.
Yeah, if you vote, then absolutely yes.
If you
don't hold me to that.
If you tip to us right now, it will happen because we have a direct through line to Nintendo. So
you will get a full direct.
If we meet our goal of $1,000, guarantee you a full direct.
And in that full direct, you'll get maybe something Mario in it.
They won't announce a lot. There's just gonna be like 5 minutes dedicated to talking about Kingdom Hearts Mom again, but like you will get it. No, but yeah, there's probably just gonna be a partner showcase this week.
I feel like there has. We're in the last week of October, so if there isn't one this week, I guess that means they might have just stopped doing them because they've been pretty consistently every month. So for about 3 months,
from like June to now, they've had like consistent like information after information. So like with how much of a bombshell there was in September, I'd be pretty surprised if they didn't have anything in October.
Yeah,
like outside of special FE, whatever it is, but I'm pretty confident there'll be a partner showcase.
Yeah. I think we still got stuff like Bravely Default 2 and to figure out whether all that is still coming this year or if it's been pushed back.
Hope.
So I haven't actually played the Kingdom Hearts demo yet, but I've downloaded it.
Fellas, I just need a game that gets rid of the dopamine that's Genshin Impact so that I can stop fucking playing that game.
Oh my god.
So I haven't even attempted to start that
in that
game.
full direct, they will announce Beach Boys Rock Band. Yeah, and what controller company will Harmonix make bankrupt next?
Oh, rip.
Did you guys see that they announced that like Rock Band 4 is going to be like next gen compatible? Like they're doing a next gen update for Rock Band 4?
No, I did not see that.
Who's going to play it with what instruments?
They should make Mad Catz defunct because they've been around since 1989. No, they're back. Now that they used to be Mad Catz Interactive, but now they're back as just Mad Catz.
Those are like the real shitty PS2 controllers, right?
The original
big bloke.
They're the really shitty everything controllers forever and always.
The original Mad Catz, the original like long-standing Mad Catz went bankrupt after Harmonix had them make the instruments for Rock Band 4.
No freaking way.
Yeah.
Oof.
It completely ruined a company. It is insane.
Activision is really good at running an idea into the ground. Like really good at it.
That was just Harmonix. That wasn't even EA either.
Harmonix was fully responsible.
Well, that's true, but
yeah.
but it was the annualization of that type of game that Activision did that really led to the implosion, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think Harmonix also making them yearly was not helping either.
Yeah.
And also putting way too much money into making them.
The market couldn't support two and at one point they're just trying to like once you have the instruments and then they keep selling more instruments. Yeah, no, man.
Yeah. Like the Beatles Rock Band is the best one because you can tell it's the one they put way too much money into. And, like it was never going to make that money back. Like there is no goddamn way. It's kind of like when they were like, yeah, Destiny has like a $500 million budget or something. You're like, yeah, they're not making that money back. That's not happening.
I'm ashamed because like, you know, when Guitar Hero was like in its big thing and everyone was playing that, I really enjoyed that game. I thought it was it was actually a genuinely fun game.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, try to think of the before time when people used to get together and do things. And
man.
not today
Ooh.
where everything is 100% online, and
Not the day where your get together and do things is either Among Us or Fall Guy. You have no choice.
Yeah.
back
Golf
back
with
when,
your friends.
back
Thank
when
you very
Ruby
much.
Tuesdays walked the earth because they had a salad bar.
I-
They closed
my-
all the Ruby Tuesdays here. I'm like, that's hilarious.
my
Salad bar.
fun opinion is that I think if Guitar Hero Live was a different game, I think it would have done well. I think what they needed to do with Guitar Hero Live was make it like a greatest hits of like the first 4 Guitar Hero games packed with the new controller.
Mhm.
Yes, dude.
Because that would have
100%.
been like the best way to do it. Because I actually think the Guitar Hero Live controller is really good. It's a really smart idea because it's both like easier for people who are not into Guitar Hero, but harder for those who want like another step up. Than just like the regular 5-button layout. It's super cool. It's super neato. But like they packed it with a game that was an FMV game with like Bangarang and Katy Perry in it. And it's like, why? Guitar Hero, why? It should have just been like a greatest hits of the first 3, and it would have been.
Hey, Colin, you're a lot closer to college than I am. Do people like, okay, she says the Boundary Break guy had a tweet talking about Smash Bros 8 players, and he's all like one of the greatest ideas. He's all like, but the hardest thing is getting 8 adults together to do something. And I'm like, man, when I was in college, in the dorm, we had this huge community room on the bottom, and people would come and plug their systems in, and a bunch of people would come around and play. I'm like, does that still happen? I'm like, do kids see each other anymore, Colin? I don't know.
Hey,
my first day of college, we played 8-player Smash.
I'm gonna tell you something. You can set up literally any multiplayer video game, and a group of the max amount of people needed to play that video game will play it.
Not only will the max amount
will
play it, but
swarm
you'll get
to the
more
free
asking to
controllers.
swap in.
I don't know what convinced me to do this, but one day I brought my modded PlayStation 1 and a copy of Thrill Kill, and I was able to get Thrill Kill matches going for like a few hours.
So I was in college in the early 2000s because I'm old, and I had a Dreamcast. And the best thing about the Dreamcast, guys, is that you didn't need to like mod it. You could just literally go onto the internet with a CDR and burn anything on it. So I had like NES emulators just burnt on it. And I remember I went down and I started playing. I just randos like going in and out playing like Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers for the NES like all night. It was ridiculous. And I think that's the thing. And I think she says is a little closer to me than he is to you age-wise. I'm not saying he's as old as I am. I'm just saying that like at this point, getting together, like people have kids and jobs and stuff. I'm like, yeah, man, but I feel like that might not be the group that's getting together to play 8-player Smash.
Right.
Right, yeah.
Well, I know that when I was in college, I had a Wii U. I was probably one of the only people in my dorm that had a Wii U. And they went nuts over that. Like, playing Smash was so fun. To the point that I got, like, a group of, like, 10 people to watch the Bayonetta in Smash announcement. Because they were all just so hyped. Nice. Like, oh, who's the last one going to be? And I could very vividly remember everyone saying, who's Bayonetta? Like, they just had no idea who this
There was... Like I mean I wouldn't say there was like a Smash club at my college, but like people regularly played it like en masse when that game came out.
I've found that like when it comes to Smash, there's like 2 groups in college that play it. There's like the casuals, like, oh yeah, I just want to play Smash, that sounds fun. And then there's the group of elite hardcores that like won't let you into the group unless you can like 0-3-1 someone. So those guys suck. I absolutely hate interacting with people like that just because they always have this like really elitist persona about them. It's just not fun.
See, when I was in uni, Smash Brothers for Wii U came out, and there would always be a constant Smash. Like, it was basically a guaranteed thing, to the point that we joked that our video game society was basically a Smash society, because there would be people who would just show up just to play Smash Brothers. Even before, like I had set up Project M with a friend there, That used to be the thing until Smash for Wii U came out, and then it used to be that the whole time. To the point,
I feel like it's not like
to the point that I stopped
bringing
my Wii U because the society bought its own Wii U, just and its own copy of Smash, just so that people could have it there at all times.
That's awesome.
So that's always the thing, and then I would just play like Choo Choo Rocket on the Dreamcast or something, multiplayer Choo Choo Rocket instead.
Man, I college was like a really cool like litmus test for a few things, like at least gaming wise, because like I would bring like my 3DS every day, but like the last year I went to college was like the first year of the Switch's existence. So like, dude, like I had a Switch commercial moment like within the first couple months. Because me and my friend went to a sound engineering class, and then like sometimes the class would let out early, and I like one day he literally turned to me and he's like, I hope you have your Switch because I would love to play some Mario Kart right now. And like that's what we would do. The thing we would literally like we put the Switch, open the kickstand, go to like the cafeteria and like take off the Joy-Cons and do the whole meme. Like no one does that now because all the cool Switch Pro gamers have like they're like, yeah, let me just pull this Pro controller out of my backpack. But like,
I feel like today in particular, like the Switch is just like this godsend for like college gaming because you can literally do it whenever you want. Like you pull it out.
Yeah, it's whatever. For the person on the move, it really is like objectively like the best console.
Yeah, back in my day, I had to take my GameCube like a lunchbox everywhere I went.
To your game when you wanted to play.
I literally had that fold out
Game Boys with the link.
Yeah, as I was gonna say, you pop out your Game Boy Advance SP
screen, like the LCD screen that was on top of the GameCube. Anyone want to play Smash?
Anyone want to play 8-player Mario Kart? Don't worry, I bought a second GameCube.
And it's funny because I feel like it's like, oh yeah, the idea of portable gaming is not new, but I feel like the Switch really like transformed that shit, not only with just like a huge boost in power over like any other handheld device ever, but also the fact that like it's made for multiplayer even in its base configuration,
Right. I feel like a lot of like kiddos are never going to understand the struggle that is like before the Switch, before like Wii U and stuff like that. 8-player was not the norm, or like these large parties was not the norm. It was 4-player, like at best, 2-player at least. And like that was fun. That was cool. You got your friends together. But then when you had big parties like this, it was a constant switch around the controller. Like, oh yeah, okay, I've had my little fun. Now someone else needs to have it. And I'm really appreciative that like now we can actually have these big parties where everyone's involved. Like even outside of Smash, there's just tons of games where it's like big party multiplayer stuff, and I really enjoy it. It's like,
yeah, like I said, in college, it was all those 6th-gen machines, and like Halo was awesome. But if you really wanted to get more than 2 people playing Halo well, you'd be like, yeah, let's get a LAN party set up. Let's get different TVs, different, like, it was such a pain in the ass, man.
I can actually tell you right now, the biggest game, the largest game on college campuses is like any of those like Naruto Storm games.
those are great.
College kids go fucking crazy for those Naruto.
I think it's just fighting games for whatever reason seem to always do really, really well. No matter what
we used
sort
to
of fighting game it is.
a lot of the Soul Calibur, the first one, on Dreamcast. The Dreamcast was a great system. It also had just a bunch of fun party shit. So
I'd bet dollars that regardless of the actual quality of the game, Jump Force is probably a really fucking big game. Like for people.
There was one time like I was talking to some guy and he's like, "Didn't I kick your ass in Naruto Storm?" And I'm like, "I've never played it." And he's like, I swear I beat you in that game. I'm like, "I've literally never played it."
I swear I kicked your ass in Naruto Storm.
You're confusing me for someone, like, because that's what I've never played it. Like I was never in like the rec center going like, "Oh yeah, I'll play Naruto Shippuden," but like no, I don't know. I think that goes to like. I think that's like a testament to how many people were playing it. Is that you could confuse other people for people who have played it.
If you haven't played Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm in college, what are you even doing? Like seriously,
you're not in college. You haven't paid for the full experience yet.
It's not the full thing, man.
And now it's on Nintendo Switch, and you can like recreate the experience at home.
Is the one with Lars from Tekken on Nintendo Switch? That was
No, I don't think so.
That was always my
No,
favorite one.
Well, that one is sick.
Yeah, just like, why is he here? Bamco really trying to push Lars as the new face of Tekken. They tried like for one game and it didn't pay off.
ETL Gaming, I'm gonna play Crown Tundra for the first time now with this in the background. Well, here's something I want to tell you. I've never played a Pokemon game, so I am not going to have anything to talk about with
Okay.
I'm playing it at the moment. I've only just done the beginning
My-
part. I've done one Dynamax adventure, and then
My
that's
only
it.
comment that I'd like to
Testament
add,
how
Which
much-
everyone would know if they've watched me stream it yesterday on
It's a
Twitch.tv
testament to how much you look like a gamer, Colin. I mean, that's true. I used to wear glasses and shit.
nice.
True gamer fashion sense. Were you always walking around
Colin,
with your
reveal a
Mountain
deep
Dew
dark
pendant?
secret. I will. I lost my glasses like 3 weeks ago, and I can't find them. So I've just been using contacts.
I lost my glasses in the ocean a couple months back, and that was a very traumatic experience.
Yeah, can't really be getting them back.
To look for them.
I actually lost my glasses recently to 20/20 eyesight. It's been really hard to find them since then.
I would have lost my glasses, but I've never needed them.
Well, look.
I don't know. I've gotten through so much of my life without playing a Pokemon game. ETL Gaming, like I feel like I'll be fine.
No, you should play like Heart Gold and Soul Silver at least.
Actually,
Yeah.
Colin, you should play Black and White. That's the only good Pokemon game.
Well, actually,
Someone
just
who actually
just-
lives in New York. I'm gonna beat your ass.
No, no, no.
Gen 8 sucks. NatDex.
No, right. You gotta. The only good reason that we're getting a Gen 4 remake, the only reason to be happy about that is it means we're one step closer to that Gen 5 remake, and that's when Pokemon's gonna pop off.
Pokemon is the worst experience of my life.
I don't know, guys.
I have played a lot of
Badass.
on the N64 the Pokemon Puzzle League. That game's pretty great.
Oh, that one's great.
That one. I've
That's a
not
good
actually
one.
played that one. I think it's the only one I've not played.
Pokemon's like an experience that, like, unless you grew up with it, like, there's no need to get into it later on. Like,
Yeah, well-
I can say without any shadow of a doubt, unless you like have been playing them with the gens as you've been growing up, you're not gonna like get that level of enjoyment. I don't think just like growing right into it.
Yeah, right. Here's the thing. I have kind of the opposite of that because I was like in my teens when it came out. So
Right.
it was very heavily, and I'm not saying it's not a great game and I wouldn't have even enjoyed it then, but it was so heavily marketed towards kids and every freaking like younger brother and everything was so into it that it was just annoying to me.
Right.
Right.
So I never like it
I
wasn't
was
like
that younger brother.
yeah, exactly. Like at the time, I was all like, I was starting to get into like, I was really into like the PS1 serious edgy games. I'm like, oh man, Resident Evil, this game's so cool. Isn't Lara Croft so hot? You know, whatever. But look at those polygon boobs. But so like, yeah, like it just wasn't my demo. So like, I didn't get into it. And then I almost got into I think Black and White because someone was really pushing it. And that may have changed the entire trajectory of my life, but I never did. And at this point, I feel like I'm too old, man.
You are. Don't do it. It's a downward spiral. Don't play it.
Yeah. My fiance is a couple years younger than me, so she grew up a little bit with Pokemon. So I think we almost bought the Pokemon Go games out of nostalgia, but I may still buy that. How much would that annoy everybody if the only Pokemon game I ever played was Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee?
I would advocate it.
I mean,
Yeah,
if it's the first one you've played, sure, I guess. It's only going to go up from there.
Unironically, I think Pokemon Go is the most wholesome and enjoyable experience that Pokemon has ever like made.
Yeah, Pokemon
So-
Go was really good, yeah.
Whoa!
Oh, wow. Nice.
Whoa!
So JG8261 donated $25. This goes out to you, Spazzy, from Twitter for the giveaway fun thing. And
Oh,
also, hi,
thanks, man.
Raio. The guy willing to give the one dude the
Also, hi,
code.
This was for those of you that don't know, I did a Twitter giveaway where I was giving away one of the fighter passes and somebody scammed me out of it.
An
So I had to buy
imposter showed up.
Yeah.
yeah,
Asshole!
a little
Who
sus there.
who does
So
that?
I ended up buying a second one. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, thanks, man. That's
Oh.
awesome.
Very
That's very
much
sweet.
appreciated. Thank you.
Spazzy, now you can buy a fighter's pass.
now I can buy another fighter's pass, be scammed again, and then buy.
Continue the cycle.
Continues.
And you will have spent like $120 on DLC.
Nintendo's
I'm trying
just
to
like
get Sakurai to do a season 3, guys.
No, they're just like, wow, this one guy really likes really likes the DLC.
He keeps buying it.
What if
I have
this
to
is an
continue
inside
for him.
job? What if JJE is the imposter?
Dun, dun, dun,
I
dun.
was so bad for his sins. He came back on.
Okay,
Oh, sorry, Spazzy.
so what is considered just the best Pokemon game? I know that's probably a loaded question. I'll get a bunch of different answers.
Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
Okay, first,
Yeah.
fuck you.
No.
Why?
Because no, they're not
What's
good
wrong with
games.
Heart Gold and
No,
Soul Silver?
right,
This thing sucks.
No.
This
No,
thing
they
sucks so
don't.
bad,
No,
Colin.
they absolutely do not. No, Heart Gold and Soul Silver is definitely the best Pokemon game, followed by
man?
Black and White. Black and White's the second
Okay.
best.
I'm not saying Heart Gold and Soul Silver is a bad game, but they're not the best Pokemon game.
People
let's-
were already agreeing that like Gen 2 was probably like the most well-rounded games of the entire franchise, and
I
Heart Gold and Soul
disagree.
Silver
I
just builds
disagree.
on that.
All right, well,
I just,
what do you think, Rao? What's your thoughts?
Okay, it's such a loaded question, so like, pardon the sweating, but Black and White is probably my favorite in the series, like Black and White 2. Though objectively, it's probably anywhere between Black and White, like that generation, and the Sun and Moon generation. I just think one of those two is probably the best Pokemon experience. I don't think Sun and Moon are very fun. I don't like them, but I feel like if you're getting into Pokemon, that's a very good one to start with.
I kind of disagree on that. Pokemon Sun and Moon I like Pokemon Sun and Moon, but it's so story heavy. It will stop you every 5 minutes to have a cutscene.
Yeah,
That I honestly don't feel
agree.
like it's a good first Pokemon game for people.
I agree, which is why I would like suggest maybe like Oras or something where like the mechanics are all still updated, but it's still like more of that traditional Pokemon where you're not bombarded with cutscene. That being said, though, not Heart Gold Soul Silver. They're like maybe second or third, definitely not first.
Nah, I see.
Hard
I
to
think
do
the peak Pokemon time was when
Phantom's like, let me in, I want to talk.
no, Phantom, you stay.
You should have woken up earlier, man. If you wake up on time, you get to participate in things.
He's gonna chew me out. He's gonna be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
the peak Pokemon time was the end of Gen 4, start of Gen 5, when they did Heart Gold and Soul Silver and then went straight into Black and White. That's
I can
like
agree with
the best time to be Pokemon fan, in my opinion.
It's
because
really
that's when
funny because
the
I
best
got
games came out.
super into Heart Gold, and then
Then they
like
dropped the
I
ball.
picked up Pokemon Black, and it felt like such a downgrade from Heart Gold playing right after. Because like so much of this shit that I had like a lot of fun with, including even gimmicky shit like the Poke Walker, was just gone.
Well, okay.
Yeah, I get that.
And then I was
I'll give you
just playing like a really slow reboot of like
I think
another
that-
Pokemon game, and I was like,
I
oh
think
fuck
that
off.
I think that what it is that like every Pokemon game has like a gimmick that's like usually there throughout the whole game, and if you really enjoy that gimmick, you'll enjoy that Pokemon game a lot more. Like the
Yeah.
Poker Walker thing, I hated that. I could not fucking stand that thing. It was so dumb. I hated it.
I love the
I
Poke
love
Walker. I've still got like
everyone-
I've still got a
Have
Lucario
they-
or Riolu or something in my
With the
Poke Walker.
Walker. It was such a good.
Yeah,
so
Can-
good.
Poke Walker is
Can
like
we
the
at
most
least
accurate
agree-
pedometer as well to ever
I
exist.
think this is a universal opinion, and it's sad because so many people actually believe this. But Gen 4, like Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, are not the best gen, and there's way too many people that believe that and like are overhyping themselves for these remakes that are eventually going to come. I cannot stand by the people who say
do that
that's the
shit
best gen.
all the time, where they're like, "Yo, Gen 3 remake," and I'm like, "Man, I played Ruby when I was a child. That game sucks." Like,
Yes, it does. It really does. Ruby.
Yeah, well, I was having this conversation with my housemate the other day. Which one do people prefer, Gen 3 or Gen 4? Not including the remakes of Fire Red, Leaf Green, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, purely Ruby and Sapphire versus Diamond and Pearl. Because I know a lot of people are super nostalgic for Ruby and Sapphire, and a lot of people sort of are down on Diamond and Pearl. But when I think back on it now, I think I definitely put more hours into the latter than the former. It's an interesting... but because neither of them are as good as Gens 1, 2, and 5, and they're all better than Gen 6 because everything's better than Gen 6.
Well, Phantom in all caps just said Gen 4 is the best gen, though, especially because of
Heart Gold and
Well,
Soul Silver.
Which I'm sure it's all caps, so I'm pretty sure he means to yell that. So
he's gonna come in here and beat me up, dude. He's gonna come in here and be like, "Never let this guy be on again. He's terrible."
Yeah, his opinions are triggering.
This is why I can't talk Pokemon.
Okay, I'll tell you guys this. If one of these everyone thinks it's the best game gets remade, maybe I'll play it. Maybe I'll stream it.
They did remake one of the best games. It's called Heart Gold Soul Silver.
From this point on, Colin.
From on the
this
Switch.
Point on. Yes, I'm not going to go back and play.
If you're going to get into one that's remade, right? Like that's the new shiny thing, whatever. I can probably say that Diamond and Pearl remake, if they actually improve everything that was shit about those games, that would probably be a really good one to start with.
Yeah, I think it depends on how much
them to change a lot.
It depends on how much of Platinum they incorporate into Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
That's the thing. Platinum, a lot of people consider Platinum to be the best version of those games because they fixed a lot of the bullshit from the original. And I never played. Platinum was actually the first third game that I didn't buy, so I don't know a lot of the changes other than the distorted world at the end. But I think they must know that a lot of people prefer the shit that was in Platinum to the stuff that was in Diamond and Pearl.
I feel
so they may incorporate
they've done the third
a bunch
version of Pokemon for a long time. Like they've had the third version for a long time. But I feel like the only game where it truly matters if you get the third version is like Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, because it objectively makes the experience better if you get Platinum.
Yeah. So we'll just have to see. It's definitely coming next year. I'm really confident in that. So we'll see what they do with it.
I just think it'll be really funny for somebody that doesn't care about Pokemon to stream it. Yeah, this is a lot like Dragon Quest Monsters.
That reminds me, I still have to stream Dream Drop Distance for the Nintendo 3DS as I've never played a Kingdom Hearts game before, and I want to start.
So you're starting with Dream Drop Distance,
the most confusing.
God, start with Mommy Milkies, dude. Don't go with Dream Drop.
Yeah, you just catch up to the whole story through Memory of Music or whatever it's called, Melody of
No,
Memory.
I asked mathematician Bry Hard Gaming which one I should start with, and he was like, "Yeah, that'd be the one that would be the most confusing because you're gonna have like Mickey saying I'm already half Xehanort, and I'm gonna be like, all right, okay."
I feel like, that one's probably the most confusing, but like the mobile game, that one's pretty fucking confusing too.
Yeah, that one's also very disconnected from everything else.
Yeah, that's
Dream Drop. This is why Phantom is like, "Oh, your opinions are triggering me." And then he says shit like Dream Drop Distance is actually one of the best games in the series, though.
Oh my god!
I mean, maybe he's just a big fan of Hunchback of Notre Dame. Okay, it's the only way you get to experience it outside the movie is through Dream Drop Distance.
Is the Jason Alexander gargoyle present in that?
I think the gargoyles are present in that. I don't remember.
No, it's not Jason Alexander. It's all dudes doing impressions.
Yeah, they're all.
It's fake Jason Alexander.
They got Colin Hanks instead of Tom Hanks.
Kingdom Hearts is so funny for how many bad impressions you have for the Disney characters. I just love that part of it.
It's really weird watching the trajectory of Kingdom Hearts being there, because I remember when GamePro was first showing like information on the first game, and I'm showing people, I'm like, it looks kind of cool. It's like a Final Fantasy Disney crossover, and everyone's like, this is the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my life. Why is the genie there? This is dumb. This is Final Fantasy for kids. What is going on? And now like it is like one of the most intense fandoms I have ever seen. It is ridiculous.
Spazzy, if you ever watch the opening cutscene of Kingdom Hearts 1, like that is the litmus test of whether or not you're ready for the shit.
Well, I when Kingdom Hearts 1 came out, I bought it, I played it, I beat it, I thought it was all right, and then that was it. I put away my Kingdom Hearts stuff.
Kingdom Hearts
This is
Kingdom
my
Hearts
baby
have been
gamer.
completed.
This is my baby gamer, but Kingdom Hearts 1 was the first game I ever played on the PlayStation 2.
Nice.
That's like not even.
The first game I played on the PlayStation 2 was Twisted Metal Black.
Listen, Kingdom Hearts 1 starts with two twinks play wrestling on a beach with like 90s trance Eurobeat music playing in the background.
You're really selling this.
And then Mickey shows up a few minutes later. And you're just like, what am I getting into? What
literally just sounds like every time I go to Disney World and it happens to be Pride Day. It's
really funny because like the prologue, the tutorial for Kingdom Hearts is you're playing as this man who vaguely resembles Mickey in colors, throwing around a sword into dark little blobs while fighting on top of portraits of Disney princesses. And it's a really surreal experience. Like you open that up and you're like, what the fuck am I getting into?
Well, what's funny is I always at the time I had a friend that for some reason loved the game Bouncer.
Oh god!
And so when this came out, we're all like, "Why does he look like little kid Bouncer?" And he still does.
Yeah, he still does. The Bouncer is just gritty version of Sora.
Yeah,
it's sad because like a lot of people are like, "Oh, Kingdom Hearts, it's the worst experience. The story sucks." But like, I feel like a majority of Kingdom Hearts players don't play for the story; they play for like the actually pretty good gameplay.
Well, I think it's not. It's weird because there's story and then there's setting. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's not. Yeah, it's kind of the experience. It's the it's the whole Scorsese of it. It's a theme park ride. It's not cinema, but it's an experience. You go in and there's a Rick rollicking fun adventure to be had. You just don't pay too many attention to the details, or you're ending up in like YouTube video essay hell,
like
forever.
Lore shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're ending up in please own every console that existed so you could understand the story. Thanks.
Phantom plays for the story. Yeah, but Phantom, you're a special kind of gamer.
I know. I like the story.
There are people that
I like the story because it's so completely batshit off the wall that I just adore it.
I enjoy the story. I don't enjoy how like I have to play every installment to get another piece of Stormy because like there's some installments like every long running stinkers. Series. They're bad.
Just watch the trailer. Not the trailer, like the video versions of 356 over 3 days and Recoded. Recoded is the one that you don't need to play. It's completely pointless. But 356 over days does a very good job of making you feel like you're working an office job at an organization. Which is exactly the feeling Roxas has.
Kind of have convoluted stories to a point, and then like Kingdom Hearts kind of took it to its natural conclusion of the genre.
JRPG stories have convoluted stories, but like they usually start and end in the same game. For Kingdom Hearts, we have had so many fucking installments of this game, and it's still the same damn story. It's so hard to keep track of.
It's meant to have finished after.
My first moment of that playing games was playing Final Fantasy II, which is Final Fantasy IV. On the Super Nintendo, and then all of a sudden there was like a whale on the moon, and I'm all like, what? Okay, rolling with it. Let's keep going. I thought we were doing some European high fantasy, but nah, man, we're on the moon. There's whales. Let's go.
See, the thing with Kingdom Hearts is that, or at least the story should have finished now. I obviously don't know what Melody of Memories is going to be, if it's meant to be an epilogue or not. But the whole point of Kingdom Hearts 3 and then its DLC was that it's meant to close off this Kingdom Hearts story that has encompassed every other game so far. So theoretically, when Kingdom Hearts 4 happened, you should be able to just start there and be perfectly okay with being able to just start there.
And then Big Man on Campus was like, yeah, this is the end of the Xehanort saga, but now we're going to open this brand new saga up with this Yozora guy. It's going to be so fun, guys. Hope you're ready for another 10 years of this shit.
Final Fantasy.
So what do you want to talk about next, now that Phantom's not here? Maybe Splatoon?
Let's actually, because we have not followed our own agenda for this at all. We haven't even done the games we're playing, but fuck it, it's been an hour now, so we're going to skip through that. Unless we run out of stuff to talk about. Let's talk about
it's slow news week anyways.
Let's talk about the one news story that did happen this week and all of the stuff that's fallen around it. The Fire Emblem Blades of Light. God, I can't remember what it's called already. Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light. The very first one on NES is coming to the West for the very first time as part of its anniversary, and is getting like a full collector's edition in America, and it's being released for like, was it like $5 or something on the $6, yeah, on the eShop. And it's a fully new translation because unlike, say, Earthbound Beginnings, they never initially put together a translation for this game. So it's all a completely brand new translation. And yeah, this just sort of came out of nowhere and it's coming out in December now. What do people think about this? It's sort of really, really random. Like, first off, who out of the four of us have actually played and are into Fire Emblem, other than myself, I guess, because I know I am.
The trailer they used to show off this game is exactly the experience I have with Fire Emblem. Where they open with Melee, Marth fell down. I'm telling my cousin, man, he sucks. That's the experience I've had. Outside of that, though, I've only played 3 houses, so I don't really know a lot about the series.
What about you two, Messi, Colin?
No.
I have played 3 Fire Emblems and I have completed 2 of them. I've completed, unfortunately, one of them I've completed a Shadow Dragon, which makes me not as excited for this. I feel like I've played it. I've beaten Shadow Dragon and I've beaten Awakening, and I played Path of Radiance back in the day, but I got really bored at some point. So one day I should go back and play that if they ever release it for not a ton of money. Electronically.
They should do Path of Radiance,
which we can talk about because I guess we can talk about that a little bit later, because Nintendo did say they want to bring more Wii and GameCube games out, but we'll save that for that segment.
Yeah.
So let's
So with Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, I have played the first one a little bit, and it's very dated. I personally think it is very, very slow. So the fact that they're adding in this ability to double the speed of the game instantly makes it the best version of this game you can play, which is cool.
Funny.
And I like the idea of them bringing games that were originally Japan only, like Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light, and actually localizing them finally.
It's pretty cool because, like, I mean, if you are a fan of Fire Emblem and like a cult classic fan, you've been there since the beginning. Like, this is probably a dream announcement for you. Like, it's just a really cool opportunity for that fan base, which is why I think personally it's like a good announcement. It's really cool. A lot of people have been getting a stink over it because of a very particular aspect about it.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't bother me as much. I think that just the fact that they're doing this for that fan base and they're allowing you to have this opportunity is nice. Just because, like, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, and this seems more like an actual celebration of an anniversary. Like the Mario thing seems like those are Mario games that should just be available. This seems like a very particular thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, exactly.
It
where
seems
like
different to me.
The Mario thing, it's like, oh, here's your 3D Mario games. You can now play them wherever, have fun. It feels kind of rushed when you get into the collection. But this feels like there's an amount of effort and like an amount of fan service to where it's like, we know who the audience is. We know who wants this game. It's available for you now.
Yeah. And they do like the limited edition that they sort of put together with the Nintendo Power, whatever
Looks
that
cool.
is.
Looks
and
real
the
cool.
fake cartridge, although I don't know why the cartridge is see-through glass, whatever it's made out of, instead of actually looking like a NES cartridge.
Because that bullshit's just based on Limited Run's own stupid shit, where they're like, yeah, Doom 64 comes with a collectible non-functioning cartridge, and you're like, okay.
$300, give or take.
It's cool. It's cool for display purposes. Like, honestly, that's what people do.
But why not actually have it be like made like out of the same material and actual cartridges? Why have it be the weird glass shape thing?
Limited Run does theirs out of metal because.
Okay. Well, I am
annoyed. Hear the seething in his voice whenever he says Limited Run.
Stupid.
I am annoyed that
eventually going to dump this ROM. And
actually,
and you'll be able to buy reproduction cartridges off of shady sites on the internet. I'm not saying you should, but I'm saying that is going to happen.
Well, so this is kind of weird because there's a lot of speculation about this currently in regards to the whole limited release thing, because it has the same limited release window as Mario 3D All-Stars, which I think a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people kind of change their tune, going from like, oh, fuck this limited bullshit, to, okay, I think Nintendo has something. Like there's probably something late March, early April that they're doing.
Some sort of update to the Nintendo Switch Online, or virtual console, or something.
And there's this one post that's been going around by some guy on 4chan, so you know it's legitimate. You know it's trustworthy. But even if it's bullshit, it sounds like the most likely thing to happen, which is that the possibility is that so as I said in a previous Good Morning Source Gaming, and then a Shadow Link chastised me for, even though I was right, is that the emulation used for 3D All-Stars is very different than previous like virtual console efforts or just general emulation, because you have like the GPU processes are all emulated. Some of the CPU processes are native, like running the cutscenes and stuff, but running alongside the emulator is like another component that's like patching in like higher resolution textures and things like in real time. And some people are theorizing that this version of Fire Emblem is using a similar system where like the ROM will just be like the standard Japanese ROM, but there's some like external program patching in the English dialogue and like the 2x speed stuff in real time.
Yeah.
And in that post, the guy says that, yeah, this is the case, and the idea is that at the end of March or early April, there's a rumor that they're gonna redo like the NSO apps to just make like one Nintendo retro app that has all the contents of the NSO stuff, but then it also has games that support this like new emulator, and then it'll be like an on-demand service where you can just like buy shit.
I feel like they have to up the subscription cost if they're doing something like that.
Well, no. So the way it's meant to, so the way it works, and it doesn't necessarily have to be coming out in April, March. It's just that this is something that will be coming. Is that the Nintendo Switch Online and NES and SNES Online is still part of the Nintendo Switch Online service, but instead of it being in separate apps, it will now be all in one same app, which is effectively, it's not going to be called the Virtual Console app, but I'm just going to call it that for convenience. So the Virtual Console app will, if you go into it, you'll have access to those, but you can only access the free games if you have a Nintendo Switch Online service. If you do not have a Nintendo Switch Online service, you can still download the Virtual Console apps, but you'll have to buy games. Effectively, here's a good way to think about it. Think of it like Amazon Prime, where you can download the Amazon Prime app and you can buy any videos, movies, and stuff off there, whatever you want. But if you have Amazon Prime specifically, the service, some of those are now free. And you can download the free one, but not all of them.
Like Amazon has their streaming.
Yeah,
Amazon still has their streaming, but then they also have the for purchase.
Yeah, that you can purchase, and it's like that.
Some are free because, like, if a service like that did happen, there's no way they're gonna make like the entire GameCube library that they pull up free.
Oh,
like,
no, of
there's
course
gonna be
not.
an upcharge.
I think the what's likely to happen is anything that's on NES Online and SNES Online is gonna be free. Like, obviously, they're not gonna suddenly start charging people for it. And they're gonna keep updating NES and SNES with free games as they go on. And Fire Emblem, this one, Shadow Dragon and Blade of Light, might even go on there as free eventually. But the premium NES games, the ones that they've had to put the sort of extra work to bring them over, either via new translations or the like, those will have a charge on it. So Fire Emblem obviously does now. If they decide they want to translate Fire Emblem Gaiden using the same system, that will be a charge.
If they brought over something like, I don't know, let's say Mother 3,
that would
probably get
obviously
an
be
upcharge.
Yeah, and then third parties will be free to do whatever they want. So Konami can still release everything for free as part of the NES and SNES, but Square might release the original Final Fantasies and make you pay for them.
If they were smart, they would give you a discount if you have the kind of like the Xbox Gold sort of deal. Like NES games are $5, but if you're subscribed, they're $3 for the premium.
Right.
But Nintendo aren't smart, so it's unlikely to happen.
You don't know. According to Michael Patcher, they're very dumb always, Nintendo, so they won't ever do anything like that.
So they've localized. Someone in chat said so. They've localized Fire Emblem. Where is Mother 3? Probably never, because Fire Emblem's way safer than Mother 3.
Mother 3 has all stuff to translate.
If you told someone that 15 years ago, their heads would fucking explode. But
no, Mother 3 is it's very likely never gonna get localized.
If you're gonna,
it has some problematic.
If you want to play Mother 3, just Google it. There's been a way for 14 years. There's been a way.
If you want to
buy the game.
Well, actually, this
purchase it.
Hold on, because this brings up an interesting point. So, a friend of mine isn't particularly happy about Fire Emblem coming over, not because it's coming over, but the fact that Nintendo are charging for it. Because as far as he's concerned, it's been available in English for however many years online, thanks to fan translations.
Screw him. They put effort into it. They translate it themselves. They tweak the emulator to add things to it, and it's their IP. They own it. They can do that. So
here's my hot take on that. Any game is available for free. Like, you can get any available for free. So I don't think it's a problem when they're providing the means to translate it, giving you an option to buy it. And like, let's be real here. This is a game for Fire Emblem fans. Like, if you're willing to purchase it for $5.99,
it's a collector edition.
I think it's more. I think it's more the point. Like, if there are translations that have already existed, like the fan Fire Emblem translation, should Nintendo just have used that, or would Nintendo just copy that and make slight alterations to make the translation process
because
easier,
that was translation work done by somebody that they didn't pay. So there would be so many legal issues that would have to be cleared between them, the translation team, and who really translated it, and this and that. Because if they're going to sell, that's dumb. Your friend's dumb. I'm sorry.
Like, I get it. Like, I understand. Like, we were just talking about Mother 3, and Colin just said, "Oh, it's already been translated. You could get it right now for free, whatever." Like, if they did the same thing with Mother 3, I would still say that it's perfectly worth the price that you're paying, because someone else translated this entire RPG for you.
Somebody
they're releasing it on their own console for like dirt cheap.
Somebody whose job it is to translate, not somebody who's doing it as a fan project, which awesome. That is amazing. It's great that you're giving your time to that, but you didn't do that to make money. These other people, this is their livelihood. It's how they pay their food, their rent, their whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So support the people that are actually professionally doing this.
And like, it's clearly not for everyone. Like, it's clearly for a specific audience. So like, I don't feel like there's a reason to get a big stink over this type of game.
There's two things I want to bring up. One is that on the Mother 3 fan translation site, they say that like, oh, well, if Nintendo ever wants just like a free translation, like, just call us up. They would never do that, because all of the legal bullshit, like, they would just do it themselves. It's easier. Yeah. The second is that translations, they take a lot of time. They take a stupid amount of time, a lot more than you probably think they do. Because like, it's really funny, because like, most people are like, oh, aren't translations just like you see a line of dialogue and then you're just like, oh, fucking and you write it down, and it's like, no, it's not. There's a lot of transcribing. There's a lot of readapting to make sense within like an English concept, because surprise, languages aren't the same.
Localization
a lot more difficult.
Localization is not censorship. It can be, but it's not usually. It's just to make something fit better for a new audience. Like the original Earthbound is actually a great example of localization, because they changed so much, but it's part of the reason I think people find it so fun and charming is because of how it was localized. Obviously it had a great base that was worked on, and I'm not saying that a more literal translation wouldn't have also been awesome, but there's an art to localization, to do it where it doesn't come off as you're censoring stuff. It just comes off that you're changing things to make a little more sense, you know.
I mean, you can see it in games recently, like fucking Paper Mario Origami King. There's so much translation in that game that's like only slightly edited just to make it more make more sense to an American audience or whatever audience is playing that game,
or to include like American memes and other things that we think are funny.
Exactly. And it's because I can think of a very specific example when the Goombas come up and they're like, okay, we need to take an L on this one, guys. Like, that's obviously something that got changed through translation, but it doesn't impact it in any way. It's just a funny line for that type of viewer. So
exactly.
There's going to be differences with no matter which game you're translating. And it's a long and sometimes tedious process, which is why I don't think it's bad to say here's $6.99 for this game that we're charging.
Remember when someone tried to prove push wrong because they Google translated a Sakurai article and it was slightly different than Push's own translation.
And Push was going through character to character, saying everything is all, and the guy just kept coming back with the Google Translate.
Yeah, I remember that.
Hey, Jex, question.
Yes.
You've played a little bit of Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light.
I have.
Now, Shadow Dragon for the DS, which game you think if you play that, do you really need to play the first one? Is it a better version of it?
Probably not. To be perfectly honest,
agree that it is the better version on the DS.
Yeah, the DS version is probably, like I said, the NES version. It's got its sort of charm to it, and if it was the first Fire Emblem game you played, then sure, you probably enjoyed it a lot. But it is incredibly dated by the standards of the modern Fire Emblem, and Shadow Dragon does a lot to fix that. Shadow Dragon also has more content in it as well, although some of the content's really strange in Shadow Dragon.
Here's a pro gamer tip, guys. If you don't want to support Fire Emblem, Shadow Dragon, and the Blade of Light because you don't like that it's going away in March or whatever, and you also are not somebody that would like to pirate or emulate the game, and you own a Wii U, for an extra $4, you can get the Virtual Console release of Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon on the Wii U. It's still available right now. $10, Shadow Dragon on your Wii U. Yeah. Just throwing that out there. I don't know how many of you still have Wii U's, but it is an option if you want to experience Marth's story. Only this time with pants. So
that objectively makes it a worse, though. I mean,
that's true. That does make it the worst version.
This is not the pantsless but Marth. So
I also want to say, when I was talking about shady sites with repro carts, some people are like, "I want to play Mother 3 on actual Nintendo hardware." There's sites where you can get that.
Yeah, there are repo carts. I mean, you can get that for everything. I remember looking on eBay once and finding reproduction carts of the 6th Fire Emblem game.
All I'm going to say is AliExpress is a great website. takes a while, but it's a great website.
I'm going to be honest. I'm very much of the camp that I like to support creators and IP owners when they give us something in a series that I want to support. So if I'm a big Fire Emblem fan and I want them to translate more Fire Emblem games and release them in ways that are very, easy for us to obtain, so more people in the series will have a shot at it, so that it's on my Switch, which I carry everywhere without having to mod it in any way, then yeah, I'm going to throw money that way. Back in high school, there were these retro collections didn't exist. And I used to emulate a bunch of games on my computer, like Mega Man and Castlevania and this and that. But once they became available legally to purchase again, and I do own the carts as well. That's the other thing. I happily, on the Virtual Console, bought Mega Man and Castlevania games because I like those series, and I'm fine with supporting the IP owners. But there is a time when if it's just not available, it's not available. I mean, that's.
I feel like the only bad part about this whole Fire Emblem 30th anniversary thing that people are making a really big stink over is the fact that it's limited time.
March,
and even that's so minimal to me. It's just a lot of people complain about this stuff. Let's be real here. None of them are gonna fucking buy it. None of them were going to buy it. The only reason they're complaining about it is because it's another thing to complain about. And this isn't for that audience. This is for those fans who have wanted a chance to play this game. If you really don't care that much, you want to go play the game, just to make a big stink over it, you can go emulate it, whatever. But I don't think that devalues, how nice it is to have this opportunity if you're in that fan base. it's definitely not for everyone, and I understand that, but I don't think that it's nearly as bad of a thing to have it be a limited run thing when it's already a thing that Nintendo has done before. Like, it's just
Yeah. I think the limited run's a much bigger deal on the Mario games because those are games that everyone's going to want and people are going to want for a long time. Like Fire Emblem is like a fun little anniversary gift to the fans of the series and to people that maybe don't know. Like that's how the trailer started. People who only know Marth from Smash, like, oh, maybe I'll check this out. Like, you know, but it's not. I feel like it's meant to be like a limited time like collection thing where as a Mario thing, I know that it was for Mario's 35th anniversary, but those games are so huge that it seems like a much worse move. Like this, I think it should obviously remain available digitally in some form after this, but like it doesn't bother me the way the Mario one does.
right. Yeah.
See, so here's my counterpoint to this. Obviously, and it's the same thing with Mario, the people who have Switches now and want to play these games will buy it when it comes out and do stuff like that. But there's an element of if you're someone who doesn't have a Switch and you're interested in playing these games, but you know you won't be able to afford a Switch until, say, next summer, you're basically screwed out of any opportunity of getting either Fire Emblem or the 3D All-Stars collection. 3D All-Stars you might be able to buy now, like, and then just wait and hope, then you get it. But with Fire Emblem, it's digital only, and it's only the only physical version of it is coming to America with it, which is still just a download code. So we'll have to see if that even works after March 31st. So if you were someone who was interested in Fire Emblem, even if it's a much smaller game, and interested in playing the first one but don't have a Switch yet and won't get one till next year, you won't be able to unless Nintendo re-releases it in some form. And I think that's a bit shitty. And it also kind of sets up a bad precedent of if Nintendo can just release games for a temporary amount of time and take them away again, then that just kind of fucks with that. They can just keep doing that and it will basically get people to buy it soon because they don't want to miss out on it. Right? This is with Mario, we were all willing to jump on it because it was Mario and it's super sold out. And Fire Emblem, I know I'm going to be getting the second it comes out because I'm interested in trying it out fully and playing it on actual hardware this time. But they could release, I don't know, Chibi Robo and make it limited release for some reason. And
they could do old Club Nintendo,
and I'd pick it up because I'm me. But not everyone's going to immediately want to jump on Chibi Robo. But if someone in the future, say, watches a YouTube video about it and is like, oh, you know, actually this game kind of looks neat, I kind of would like to play it, and it's just been taken off the eShop and is now unavailable forever again, they won't be able to. They're going to be left out of it. And I just don't really see the point in it. And the other one that I wanted to bring up, which is the one counter-argument to that 4chan rumor, is that Mario 35 is also limited time and will just stop functioning at the end of March. And that's not a retro game, that's a current game. So, as a current big online game that a lot of people are into. So anyone who's a fan of that just won't be able to play that anymore, let alone download that anymore after March 31st, and they won't be bringing that back on some kind of virtual console app. So that one's now just gone for good. And again, this sort of sets up a precedent of, well, we know people are willing to buy it straight away if they are worried that they'll miss out of it later down the line. So let's just start releasing more games, telling people it's limited, so that everyone tries to buy it ASAP. It's also bad for a scalping situation as well, because scalpers are just buying so much of the Fire Emblem Anniversary Collection and making it available online for like twice the price. So people are just going to feel like they missed out there as well. I mean, it's always kind of like that with limited editions anyway. But the very fact, like, we saw it with the Mario 3D All-Stars, people doing it because that wasn't a limited edition. That was just regular.
Here's the thing about Mario
because
3D
scalpers.
All Stars. You can buy 1 million copies of that physically.
Well,
It's still
yeah,
on every store
that was the one thing at least went against scalpers. But the precedent is still there. We can't guarantee that every game they release.
Yeah,
will
I
have
agree.
that.
But when you think about it, isn't every game a limited run? Because there's usually 2 or 3 prints of a game, and that's it.
Well, yeah,
It's not like games get printed
exactly
forever.
what I'm thinking.
well, yeah,
Like,
with physical games,
like,
like sort of, yeah.
Here's the thing,
yeah.
like I understand the reason, like for this to be like something that people are cautious over. Like it's kind of bad that it's on a limited run, whatever. But every game is kind of on a limited run because like we see it right now. There's GameCube games that unless I have a GameCube, I'm not going to be able to fucking play them right now. Like that's just the nature of how this works with video games. Like you're going to have consoles that just can't play older games, and like a re-release is nice and it's cool for those people that have it. But I'd argue for something like this, where it's the first game in the franchise. A lot of people have openly said it's not the best game in the franchise. Do not start with this game if you want to start with Fire Emblem.
I disagree on that. I think start with this one if you've not played anymore, because like it's only going to go up. All right, so shout out to YouTube channel Shane Brain, great guy, big fan of his channel. He's a big supporter of ours. He's been doing a Fire Emblem retrospective, and he's nearly finished through it now. I think Fates is the next video he's doing. But like he had never played Fire Emblem before, but he played Fire Emblem Warriors because he was originally a Warriors channel, and was sort of propelled from there to check out the series, but has been playing it in release order. So he started with this one and has been working through it, and he's now up to the end of Fates and is going to start Shadow of Valentia soon. And he really likes this one. He was a big fan of the first Fire Emblem and could totally see why people liked it back in the day and why it was so popular. And when they announced this one, like he was like, yeah, no, people should play this one because it's actually really good. It's not as smooth and it's not as like it's got jank in it comparatively to later entries, but it's still a fun game especially if you're not familiar with the series. It's and you're willing to put up with NES games in general.
I like Shadow Dragon a lot because it was very straightforward.
Yeah,
like,
this is the same. This is even more straightforward than Shadow Dragon.
Yeah. Like I kind of like that because you get to things like I played a little bit of Fates on my cousin's 3DS, and it was too much, man. I'm like, pick a house. I don't know, but I liked it, and I actually I think Awakening is still a great one to start with because it's very user it's very newbie friendly, I feel like, and also it celebrates so much Fire Emblem that you get a lot of Fire Emblem in the game at once. But yeah, I always think it's good to go back and start. My first Fire Emblem or Advance Wars game was Godzilla 2 War of the Monsters on the NES. I just didn't know it at the time. I don't know if you guys have ever saw that. There's an NES, because the original NES Godzilla game is like this side-scrolling, you're a monster kicking and destroying things and fighting other monsters. Because of course it is, because it's a Godzilla game. But then there was Godzilla 2, and I don't know how it came about. But I bought it because I loved the first game, because I liked being a giant kaiju and destroying things. And I was a small child. And the second one is all like, you are the military. All right, let's move all your planes around and your tanks around. Oh man, the monsters are attacking. And I'm all like, what is this? Why am I playing this? I played through it. I played through it because at the time, I don't know. Like, I'm sure all of you have this similar feeling. Like when you were younger, there weren't so many games constantly coming out and as many old games to play. So if you got a game, you just kind of played it. Yeah. So that's my little aside. If anybody wants to play a weird, Advance Wars style Godzilla game on the NES, it exists.
Nice.
You can go do it. You can go do it right now. It's kind of fun. It has little Godzilla cutscenes in it that are like little 8-bit, cutscenes.
So,
anyways, yeah.
Anyways,
I don't know where that came from.
So just sort of transitioning from this Fire Emblem thing, and assuming the rumors are true, and this is going to be a start, and Nintendo's going to start doing more games like this. What other
guys?
What other
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt
games?
you, but this is important. Cool. I was drinking coffee, and this was the end of the pot, and it was just filled with coffee grinds, and it was gross.
Oh
Awful.
no!
Oh no! Anyway, back to what I was saying. if there were any other games you would want to see Nintendo bring over from Japan, to the West, or even vice versa, games that were in the West originally bring them over to Japan, what games would you hope them to translate? Some games I don't feel need translations. They've obviously brought over Panel de Pon onto the SNES Online, and being a puzzle game, it would be nice if the menus were translated and the story was translated, but you could basically play it perfectly fine without. And the same goes for like Murasami Castle. They released that on the 3DS Virtual Console untranslated, and that game plays great. But
we're talking about just Nintendo.
Yeah, well, let's just say,
Okay.
I mean, because I feel like other companies do this already. Like Square did it with Trials of Mana.
That was so good.
I would like the remake of Fatal Frame 2 that was on the Wii, and Fatal Frame 4 that was also on the Wii.
I think mine would probably be. I mean, Mother 3 is obviously like a big one that a lot of people talk about, but I'd probably say Captain Rainbow because I don't know if that one got.
God damn it! That was mine. Looking for
the Animal Force on Nintendo 64 too. That'd be pretty cool.
Did any of the Starfy games ever come? Some of them.
Only
did,
one
Some
of them.
did.
Only
There was
the
I forget which
last
one it was,
Starfy
but it's on the
game.
DS.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
yes. Starfy 5, which is the very last Starfy game they made, is the only one they localized.
And they marketed it like it was the first game in the
Yeah,
franchise.
I know, it's the final game in the series. I've got all the Starfy games except for that one, funnily enough. But I have played them all. Starfy 3 is really good, and it has Wario in it, so it's like an entire world that's just Wario Land, where Starfy and Wario team up.
The Starfy
by
game, I think,
force.
would be a great one.
Yeah, Starfy series would be good. I would like to see Marvelous and Other Treasure Island be localized.
Yes.
That's the Aonuma's first game on the Super Nintendo. The first one he directed. It's very Zelda-like, mixed with a like point-and-click adventure game. And it's cool.
I don't think Star Tropics has ever been released in Japan.
No, it hasn't.
Nope.
I want them to do a reverse
That'd be a good one for Japan, yeah.
because then Smash will finally acknowledge Star Tropics exists. It's the only reason they haven't.
Yeah. Since I don't think any of us are going to go with Mother 3 because it's the obvious answer.
Yeah, it's
and
too
I think
obvious.
we all would like Mother 3 to get translated. It's a weird one because it has more demand than like anything else, but it also has some issues stacked against it. Being, that some of the items in it are a little too hot to handle, maybe for a Nintendo game, especially something that they would want to not be rated T. They'd want because they wanted to sell. And B, as passionate as the Mother/Earthbound fan base is, and I've loved it. I own the original cartridge that I bought back in the day, like for a regular, not even a regular price. I bought it on discount for $20 because nobody wanted the game. As somebody that's been a long time Earthbound fan that played, and bought Earthbound Beginnings when it came out and all of that, it's not a series that really sells historically.
No, it's definitely not. No.
So I feel like Nintendo, it's a balance of, this has issues. It would take a lot of money because it's so text heavy to translate it ourselves. And is it really going to sell? Like it's plus, like, I don't know. Like, so there's so many issues with it. I don't know if it would come over. I would love it. I really want it to. I'm like that. But my choice is going to be Star Tropics to Japan because I think I don't know what it's like. Maybe I'd have to ask Push if that would be something that Japanese players would be curious about. But if it got any bit of traction at all, even, to the amount that something like Mysterious Murasami Castle got here, like at least that would be enough to get people to talk about it, and maybe get a little bit in Smash or here or there, or have the character appear somewhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, currently on the NES platform, you can play the original Puyo Puyo 2 in like Japanese text and all. So like, I feel like just having the ability to play these games in they're in a country that you can't normally play them in is already super friggin' cool. Like, I want to try these games that I've heard of, but I cannot unless like I'm emulating or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think I would be all for something like that. Just like bringing games over that aren't normally from America, or the opposite, bringing games over to Japan that aren't normally from Japan.
Yeah, like when Sin and Punishment came over here, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was great. Sin and Punishment.
Yeah.
It's a great game.
Yeah. Another one I want to come over that no one ever talks about is Wrecking Crew 98, because that is a really good puzzle game and a really good multiplayer puzzle game. And no, it never got big because they released it in 1998 on the Super Nintendo in Japan only.
It wasn't Satellaview. That was an actual.
No, this is an actual cartridge game. I have the actual
okay.
cartridge, my Super Famicom, and
I thought that one was a
really
Satellaview for some
no.
reason.
The Satellaview one was Super Mario Excitebike, which was the Excitebike sequel starring Mario characters. Wrecking Crew 98 is maybe they released it on the no, I think they released it on Nintendo Power cartridge first, and then it got a full release in 1998. And
you know what's funny?
It's a really cool multiplayer puzzle game using the Wrecking Crew mechanics, but the walls have different things they do, like shift everything to the right or left, or drop bombs or an enemy into the opponent's screen, and things like that. Plus, you can play as a ball of rice. So, I mean,
that's pretty sweet. Yeah, I would love to play that. Yeah. But I could probably just play that without it being translated. It's Wrecking Crew.
Yeah, I mean, I've beaten the whole game without it being translated. But that's one I would love to see them bring over, even if it's just on SNES Online, like they did with Panel de Pon.
I was just thinking, the Excite series, I think, has been on every Nintendo console outside of GameCube, and Switch now. I don't know if was there any virtual console type stuff on Wii U. Well, not virtual console, obviously, but any because it had 3 entries on the Wii, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It had the WiiWare Excitebikes, which was a brand new game.
Mm-hmm.
It had Excite Trucks and Excitebots. I guess we got excited out that gen, so there hasn't been anything since.
Yeah, that gen was too exciting for us, so it's a good.
Yeah, it's always weird when people call that, like, especially because we talk so much about Smash, Excitebike as a retro franchise, because it was never really a retro franchise. It had games on the NES, the SNES, the N64. It had a bunch of stuff on the Wii.
Yeah, the Excitebikes lasted longer than both Earthbound and F-Zero.
Yeah, man, Excite's it's an exciting franchise.
I mean, technically it appeared in Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U.
That's true.
And on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as well on the Switch. There's an Excitebike. It's the Mac Rider bike and then the Excitebike Arena. Those both appear.
Good time. Yeah. I know that's not what we were talking about. But sorry.
But yeah.
Right.
So, do we want to move from this to who was it who mentioned it earlier about the Nintendo potentially wanting to bring more GameCube and Wii games over? Was this like an actual announcement, or is this part of the rumor?
It's part of the rumor. Part of the rumor.
Yeah. Okay.
Or we could milk this and make our own video about it later, and be like, watch a video for it. But no, we're going to give it to you, to the Source Gaming faithful, right now.
Yes.
You guys get the first hits.
Interested in bringing more Wii and GameCube games over, and I mean, personally, I think that's what a lot of people wanted, especially GameCube, because that's just the one system they haven't re-released anything ever for. I feel like the obvious one, Metroid Prime Trilogy, we all know that's already coming, so whatever. But I kind of want them to re-release games like Chibi Robo or Pikmin 1 and 2, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn. Like, re-release them as a pack. Yeah, that and Pikmin 1 and 2, release that as a pack as well.
I have a question. Mm-hmm. For Metroid Prime Trilogy, the rumors are that it's going to be at least slightly remastered, like Twilight Princess remastered.
It's being done by the same people who did Twilight Princess HD, according to the rumors.
Hopefully they do a better job.
The rumors are that it's already slightly remastered and it's done, and we're just collecting dust on it until it actually fucking releases.
Yeah.
Well, I knew that part. I just didn't remember if it was going to be kind of a straight port, if they were trying to clean it up a little bit.
So it's going to be like Twilight Princess, but they've reconfigured. I mean, they've definitely reconfigured Metroid Prime 3 to work with just a standard controller. Whether or not they've also done it in reverse, where Metroid Prime 1 and 2 can use like the Joy-Cons instead of motion controls, which I feel like they probably did, because if it's based on the Metroid Prime trilogy on the Wii, that was the default technically. Yeah. But then again, Twilight Princess HD didn't have the option for motion controls, if I remember right, so maybe they won't. It'd be weird, though. I feel like it should have both.
It'd be weird to do Metroid Prime 3 without motion controls.
Okay, so like, here's my thing. Like, if they release this retro service or whatever, right? Games that have already been ported and aren't doing this limited time thing that are very clearly for something coming up, right? Like for Metroid Prime Trilogy, for example, that's a perfectly fine set of games that you could put on a retro service like that. But from everything I've heard about these games, like in the rumor and whatnot, they're their own set of games that are going to release like on their own cartridge and everything. Like,
yeah.
Do you guys think that there's going to both be a release on their own cartridges and then like they're also going to be available on this retro system? Or
Well,
like,
I think
It'll be
there's just
available
gonna be,
digitally.
like, there's just going to be like ports and remaster that are such like a grand effort that they'll just like have their own release.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
like
that's what I was thinking.
Like Metroid Prime Trilogy would be like a package. But like if they were to port something like Luigi's Mansion 1 and it's just Luigi's Mansion 1. Like
Yeah,
like
I
something
hate
more
that,
akin
yeah.
to something more akin to like Sunshine in 3D All-Stars, like that would just be on the service.
Right. Okay. That's sort of what I was thinking, but I wasn't too sure. Just because there are games like that that have already like been done in their own collection or re-released in their own way.
Yeah, like I think if they re-release the HD Zeldas as a pack or not, I don't think it would be part of the service. I think it would be like Wind Waker especially is just basically a remake on Wii U. Like that's going to be its own game.
Right.
Yeah. I would hope that it gets packaged with Twilight Princess. I'm wondering if they do Twilight Princess, if it's going to be the version closer to the version on Nvidia Shield, or if it'll just be a port of the remaster from the Wii U. Because I actually think the Nvidia Shield version looks a little bit better because the textures they used, especially if they don't do any work on it for the Wii U version, wasn't the greatest. Which is funny because I think I know it was a different studio, but I think that Wind Waker looks great. I think Wind Waker's like the definitive way to play it, in my opinion.
Right. I'm not sure what they'll do. I kind of hope that like I don't know, because like everyone's been saying that like, oh, get ready for the Zelda 3D collection that's coming next year, just like the Mario one. Like, do you really think they're gonna do something like that? Because like I don't know. I don't really like. I'm not super into Zelda, so maybe this is just a thing that they've always done, and I don't know. But like, I don't feel like they're gonna make a 3-pack of like I don't know, like Ocarina, Twilight, and stuff like that. Like how they did with the Mario 3D All Star. It doesn't seem like something that they would go for.
I could see them doing something like, well, first of all, the rumor is that, and some of us here have heard it, Colin amongst them, that Skyward Sword has been remastered and is ready for release.
I've heard that one.
Will be one of the anniversary games. I could easily see them taking the 2 remakes for 3DS, being Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, slapping some HD textures on that, and releasing that as a collection. Like that just seems like a likely thing for me. I think all of the other games will be released individually. Like I would love it if Twilight Princess and Wind Waker in particular came together, because we already got the re-releases of them once. But I don't know. I just get a feeling because Zelda's seen as this premium experience, and it's different. I don't know.
Right.
I think if we ever do get remakes of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, it's not going to be a full like super heavy Final Fantasy VII remake style remake. I think it's going to be basically what we got. Like I said, it's going to be based off the 3DS versions, souped up, and I would think that those would probably come together as a collection.
Yeah,
like that's just
like
my
a 2-pack.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think those are kind of the bigger ones. Any collections from GameCube you think might happen, Colin? Any Geist?
Geist.
I think it might. I mean, I think the service
Untitled Geist game.
Yeah, I think a heavier reliance on that service might be just for like third-party titles, because there might not be like, because that seems to be the big issue with like NSO, is just getting like third-party stuff on
well,
the NES.
The problem is like Secret of Mana is in its own collection, all the Castlevania games, all the Mega Man games, like, and I don't see them wanting to change that.
Yeah, it's like I feel like it's just so much more beneficial for those companies to like do their own re-release thing, because like they probably get more out of it than just putting it on a service. So I don't know. I feel like the service will probably have a lot more Nintendo like focus first party stuff.
The big thing that's missing, I feel like, are the Square Enix games. Like that's
100%, yeah.
From everything, because they're not even in collections except for, like I said, Mana. That's it.
Yeah.
If there was any GameCube game to come over, like in this potential app, I kind of just want it to be Kirby Air Ride.
I mean, that would be really good. Yeah,
that's like the
Kirby's
one
Air
that I
Ride.
keep that comes to the top of my head every time is Kirby Air Ride. Like it'd be cool if like the Mario parties came on and they somehow made them not shit, but like the chances
just
of
add
that
online.
are astronomically small. Even with the online, they would still find a way to make it shit.
Re-release Melee with online worse than the one that people are playing on Melee on the computer. I'd still buy it. I would still buy it. I would actually buy Melee or Brawl on there. Like they're fun. I don't think I would buy Wii U if they ever released it because it just seems like
too similar.
Ultimate.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
To me,
Brawl and Melee have like their own aspects that make them like individual games.
Maybe
a
bit more. Even
here's
Smash
Ultimate
64
with custom moves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, you really want to play Great Orbital Assault? Something in that stage, the orbital gate assault.
Yoshi's Woolly World. Here we go.
It's a good game. You know what I would love as a collection is, and I brought this up earlier, is both Sin and Punishments. Like that would be
that'd be a neat collection.
Yeah, just toss it on there for $40. I'd buy it. That's probably too expensive, but that's the cheapest Nintendo would go.
Yes, Sin and Punishment would be a cool one. I'd like to see. I don't know how they would do it at all. Probably, in fact, it's probably impossible. But I'd like to see Donkey Konga 1 through 3 come out as a collection. Me and my friends been playing Donkey Konga 3 recently because I own them all, and I have 2 sets of bongos, so we can actually do multiplayer. And it's great. It's a great laugh, but it's got so many licensed songs on it that it probably wouldn't work. They'd have to make a new Donkey Konga.
2 games from classic series that came out within the last 10 years that I feel like I wish they weren't trapped on the systems they were trapped on. One of them, and we're not talking about this at all, is Kid Icarus Uprising. I know we're not talking about 3DS games, but and plenty of people obviously own a 3DS, 80 billion people. But I really want that game to be on a system where they can redo the controls, because it's a beautiful game, but it's definitely constrained by the system.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see a full HD, but that's kind of its own thing. But talking about Wii and GameCube games, 110%, Punch Out needs to get
oh yeah, for sure.
For $20 or $30, that game is so good, and it really needs to not be on there. Also, going back to GameCube, there's been rumors before about Thousand Year Door. I don't know. I feel like they're trying to get away from old Paper Mario in a really weird way, but people would buy.
They're trying to get away from old Paper Mario by giving breadcrumbs of what it is and saying, "See, it's in the new game, so you have to purchase," and then having nothing else.
I don't know. I think they would be fine re-releasing the 3 original Paper Mario games on there. I feel like if a Nintendo 64 Online happened at any point, the first Paper Mario would definitely be on there. So
I feel like Super Paper Mario, that's really not it's not really old Paper Mario classic. It's new enough where it still falls into the this age of experimentation where they're doing something different every time. So I feel like that one, if they're gonna port any of them, would be one that they'd be fine with. Realistically, there's no harm in porting the old ones other than having a way to play these games that everyone say is objectively better than the new ones they're putting out.
Yeah,
so, I mean, I could see it.
Yeah, I think the 2-pack for the Fire Emblem games is smart. And I think we're thinking we think small because we think of things that would be great, and Nintendo's thinking of things that would sell. So it's a little different.
Yeah.
They're thinking I don't know, throw another Mario Kart on there. People like Mario Kart.
Oh God, I didn't even think about the possibilities of Mario Kart.
Yeah, double dash
on that thing.
Yep. Yeah, that. I feel like that is more likely than something that Eternal Darkness, which they keep re-upping their their
I don't
trademark
know.
on it.
I could see them releasing the first Eternal Darkness on a service like this just because it was like a launch game, and they tend to prefer putting launch games out there for some reason. Like I could see them doing GameCube with Sunshine, Luigi's Mansion, Eternal Darkness.
I feel like this service would be a really good way to test the waters with like properties that like they say like everyone says are the best, and like they want a release or they want a new game, and like test the water to see how true that is. Like one that I think of all the time is Golden Sun. A lot of people really like to talk about Golden Sun, how much they want another game. So like if they just put Golden Sun on this to just test the water to see how many people actually enjoy it, how many people are actually playing it, I feel like that'd be smart and beneficial, because then they could get an idea of what people are actually wanting if they wanted to like pursue new games in the future.
Yeah, or Paper Mario we were just talking about is another one. If they release, let's say, 1,000 Year Door and it's all ridiculous, it might help influence how they went forward with that series, but probably still not.
We might get a Origami King remake where you can actually choose what Bobby does, either sleep or attack. That's a good one. I like that.
You know what? I'm fine with them doing their own thing with Paper Mario, but it like, this is just me for a second getting off topic like I do. But I feel like if you're going to get rid of so many of the RPG elements such as leveling, then like make it even less of an RPG. Don't like pretend
they should,
that it's
like,
something that it's not.
I used to think that like the more that Paper Mario experimented, I was fine, just because like the other RPG they had was Mario and Luigi, and like that was more traditional RPG if I wanted to have that. But now like it feels like I'm not even gonna have that. So like having something that keeps Paper Mario, like Mario Luigi, those elements together, and then like turning Paper Mario into whatever the fuck you want it to be, do that. Like have there be two different things that you can have where you're satisfying both of those fan bases. Because like I don't mind Origami King. Origami King's a fun game, but I do think, man, I really want to play Paper Mario 1,000 Year Door or Paper Mario N64 whenever I get on Origami King, just because that those are the games that I first play. Those are the games I associate with Paper Mario.
Yeah, I would at least like those to be available. And it's nothing against people that like the new style, but yeah.
I mean,
hey,
again,
it looks like we got
it can be a thing where people are like, okay, here's the old style, you've got it, so now we can just keep making new style stuff instead.
Looks like Twilord said with £5, which I don't know the conversion. I don't know if that
€5, not pounds.
Oh, that's euros. Ooh, man,
euro.
look at me. I'm not even paying attention. That is clearly, you're right. That is clearly a euro. I just saw that it was not $1 and assumed. I just defaulted to pound.
There are only two types of currencies in the world.
Currency in the world. Yeah. Get it right. Eternal Darkness or Fatal Frame? Which Nintendo owned horror IP is more likely for a Smash rep? Don't say Luigi's Mansion. Don't say Luigi's Mansion. Well, I'm going to say Luigi's Mansion.
Waluigi's taco stand. It's terrifying, absolutely horrifying game.
I would say, well, first of all, Fatal Frame's co-owned, but I would say Fatal Frame is much more likely because it's a living series. It still has things happen with it.
It's got presence in Smash through the assist trophies already, and it's got more in it. So I would say Fatal Frame of those two.
Yeah. I don't.
Like, we know that it's going to be Jill Valentine from the Resident Evil franchise. I mean, she's a lock for Pack 5, guys. There's all this evidence supporting Jill Valentine right now.
Well, once they decide to do a Fighter's Pass 3 because of all of the passes that I'm buying and giving away, I think she's got a real chance.
I feel real bad because there's a lot of people I know that are like, man, I can't wait for season 3. They're going to do a season 3. And I'm like, God, why do you do this to yourselves? Why do you set yourself up for this disappointment?
Hey, Jex, did Eternal Darkness get spirits?
Yeah, it got one spirit. The main character. Well, the starting
Alex
character,
Rovius.
actually. Yeah, Alex Rovius.
Yeah.
Personally, should add the dead Roman guy as a character, Pius Augustus or whatever his name is. He would be a good mage fighter and a villain as well.
he would be everything we wanted Ganondorf to be.
Exactly, Ganondorf and Ashley together.
Yes,
in a dead Roman skin. It's exactly the sort of fighter we need.
That'd actually be cool. I would be down.
I'm trying to think what other horror IP Nintendo own. If they own any other horror IPs other than those two,
are there any?
I was waiting for it.
I feel like, are there any NES like like
Not that I can
games.
think of. Like Devil World's not exactly a horror game.
The only one I
There's
can think
some-
of is Sweet Home, and that's Capcom.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, is there like a visual novel we're not thinking of or something?
No, not the one that's horror. They've got detective and they've got like adventure game
Yeah.
story, but not a horror one.
There's some
Yeah.
horrible games, but that's not the same
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, of course, there's Wii Music. How could I forget? Absolutely terrifying. The E3 conference still haunts me to this day. Yeah, I don't know if Geists counts as a horror game. I think it's more of an FPS. It's just got ghosts
It's more
in
of
it.
a horrible game. I'll show myself out.
Good. So yeah, I think those are probably the only two they have, in which case, yeah, Fatal Frame. The clown from Wario Land 3 is very scary, Rudy the Clown. He's also in Dr. Mario 64 and Nintendo Puzzle Collection.
And he's going to be a special doctor guest on in the
Dr. Mario World. This is his first
Yeah.
appearance
Pack
in
8.
so long.
We figured it out.
Rudy
Pack
the
8.
Clown. The next Wario character, guys.
You all thought it would be Gino, but here we are.
This is
Now,
the
that's the
timeline we've
game.
chosen.
That's a game I can see being released on this premium Nintendo Switch
Oh,
Online.
for sure.
What,
For
Super
sure.
Mario
Because that's
RPG,
not
yeah.
unlike the Final Fantasy games or any of the Soul Blazer games, and any of the Enix games from that back then, either Dragon's Quest, like Chrono Trigger, like all of those can have their own separate releases if Square Enix wants to. But Mario RPG is weird because both Nintendo and Square have to want to do it.
Mario RPG is in this like place where like it gets re-released every like once in a while on some Nintendo thing, and they acknowledge that it exists and it's a thing, and then that's it. That's all you hear of it for a little while.
Yeah.
Like the last time I think was the SNES Classic, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's on the
Yeah, so-
SNES Classic, yeah. I think they need Square's permission, obviously, to do it, and I mean, if the rumors are true and people like Square don't want to put their games on for free, that's probably why we don't have it.
Right. I can't wait. I can't wait for all the people to come out of the woodworks if it does end up coming and be like, it's a sign, Gino's in, or like the opposite, Gino's in Smash, and they're like, it's a sign, Super Mario RPG is getting a remake.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that to happen.
I'd really
But
like to have definitive versions of Final Fantasy, of like the SNES Final Fantasy games.
Yeah, not the mobile
Yeah.
ones, thank you very
Because-
much.
Yeah, because like the PlayStation ones are, well, first of all, the Steam versions are abominations with new sprite work that I don't like to talk about. Although I think you can pretty much mod them to be really good, but you shouldn't have to do that. And then like the PlayStation ones, re-releases have better translations and better music. But even when you but because they're like direct emulations, whenever you play them, they have these horrible load times always. And there was cool stuff in the Game Boy Advance versions, but those suffered from worse sound and worse graphics in some cases. Like, I really just want like definitive versions of those games, and I don't think I'll ever really get those.
I just want Chrono Trigger, please. God.
Yeah, I'd love, and even if they're not definitive version, I would like, especially because Sony never made it available on PS4, and since they're not backwards compatible with PS3. You can't play any of these great Square Enix Super Nintendo RPGs on like any modern hardware, except for I guess Steam, because you can't play them on Switch, and you can't play them on PlayStation. Like, just give me a collection, if nothing else. And if it was just like a straight version of the Super Nintendo games available on like a Super Nintendo premium just for a couple bucks, Switch Online, I'd be happy with that. That's fine. I'm fine.
I feel like Square recently has kind of like been testing the waters when it comes to stuff like this, just because like the Trials of Mana remake, for example, like I feel like that was a really cool thing that they did, and like I would love something like that with a Chrono Trigger, where it's like just a remake that's like not even like all that great, just like a decent half-baked remake, but like it's of a good game, so you know it's gonna be good. Like, give me something like that, please. God.
Twilord once again gave us 5 croissants, and he said, Nintendo and Square worked together to give Smash fans the most important character in Square's catalog for Nintendo RPG fans. Fei Fong of Xenogears. I like how you went for Xenogears, not Saga. Screw Xenosaga. Xenogears is a better game.
Square, that's why. God, Square can't do anything with Xenosaga.
Is that the one with Cosmog, or is that the other one?
Cosmog is the Pokemon game. On the 3DS.
Cosmos is in Saga.
Yeah, that's the Bamco
one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Xenogears is actually a really cool game.
Faithfong's the one nobody talks about.
You know what's funny? If they ever did a Muso game that was Xenoblade, I feel like they would definitely have Saga content in there because Namco's like so cool with that, but they would never have anything from Gears.
No, they wouldn't. Unless it was like special DLC or something.
Yeah, even then I don't think so. Yeah.
It would just be Faithfong and nothing else.
They already got some Saga content in Xenoblade 2, don't they?
Yeah, Saga, yeah.
Yes.
They got a few they got a few blades.
Yeah, like Namco's really cool about that sort of stuff there. Especially I think Namco still has a great relationship with Monolith Soft, even though they're part of Nintendo now, so they're very cool with just like, yeah, this is your character. You can do what you want with it, you know?
Yeah. They definitely do. I mean, after all, they still technically work with each other with like Project Cross Zone and stuff.
Right, yeah.
Which should also get a third game, I think. Get a third game,
That'd
add Nintendo.
Nice.
All they have to do is add Nintendo IP to it, like more of them than what they did, and I guarantee it will sell like significantly more than any of the other cross games that they've released.
Isn't the only Nintendo like IP they have is Fire Emblem, and like I think it's just like
Fire Emblem
Lucina and Chrom.
They have Lucina and Chrom. They have Lucina, Chrom, and Tiki, but Tiki's not playable.
Oh, Tiki's there.
And
nice.
then they also have Fiora from Xenoblade.
Fiora!
She's teamed up with Cosmos, and they also have Metal Face as well.
Oh, cool.
As a boss character, yeah.
Put Boromir made out of beans as our image now.
Jesus. Well, actually, because we're coming up towards the 2-hour mark now, are there any other topics we want to chat about? Anything else? Because it has been a bit of a slow news week, admittedly, but hopefully we get a partner direct. Or does anyone in the chat have questions for
Boshi
us?
is the topic in the chat right now. People are pro Boshi and
I'm pro Boshi for Smash as well. Boshi Echo
I'm
Fighter.
pro Boshi for everything. I
really
want
were
Boshi
introduced. When Echo Fighters were introduced, I saw this wave of people that were suddenly just like, "Dude, bring in Boshi." And I was like, "Who the fuck is this character that everyone's talking about?"
Boshi for life.
I didn't know who he was until just recently. I was like, "Oh my god, he's awesome."
He's Wario Boshi.
Yeah,
he's Wario's Yoshi.
Wario's Yoshi, Boshi.
I really want a game that's like a Wario Land where like it's Wario and Waluigi as the Wario brothers, and then
Super Wario World.
Yeah, and then you've got Boshi, and then instead of Toad, he has Nabbit. Like just a whole thing. Like just
the bad side of the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah.
You take the wrong street, and now you're in the
Washroom Kingdom.
The Washroom Kingdom. That would actually be the Washroom Kingdom.
Yeah, that's the pun. There you go.
That's where all the pipes lead.
Yeah, that's where Wario lives.
Just said Boshi is cooler than Yoshi, which like is not wrong because like objectively he's just the cooler Yoshi with the shades.
Yeah, Yoshi, the cooler Yoshi, next to each other.
I'm more of a big Yoshi kind of guy.
I mean, Big Yoshi is a classic. Everyone likes a bit of Big Yoshi. But I mean, Boshi has sunglasses, so
I like the leaked skinny Yoshi. That guy's pretty cute. Looks weird as shit, but I love
cancelled
it.
Anorexic
I know
Yoshi.
I'm not an Ace Attorney fan, but I know you wanted to talk about the new Ace Attorney stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, no, well, I just included it. I just included it on the thing. Shadow Links released the Big Bad Blob released the all content for Ace Attorney.
It is good. You should check it out.
Yes, you should. It's good. It made me remember how good the soundtrack of the Ace Attorney games are. Like they got really good music. Even if it just comes as a Mii costume, just give me like Pursuit.
I didn't realize like I'll sometimes just like listen to just random video game music and like I won't really associate with anything. I haven't played an Ace Attorney game. I didn't realize how much of the tracks that like people will just put into like random good video game music are from Ace Attorney.
Yes,
it's got a lot of friggin' bangers.
Yeah. It does. It's a great. I also haven't really played it, but I also am very familiar with the music because it's awesome. You know what game comes up whenever I listen to like SNES, like 3 hours of SNES music because I'm working or something, and I'm always like, what is that? is Waterworld for the Super Nintendo apparently had a banger of a soundtrack.
Interesting. God, I love that when really shitty games or like games that are like mediocre have really good soundtracks. It's big.
Yeah.
Pictionary
you're like,
title
"Oh."
theme has a fantastic soundtrack. Like soundtrack is just one song. The Pictionary title theme is a great song. One of the best
thank
NES
you.
songs.
What was his name? Tim Rollins?
Tim Rollins, yeah. Guy who did the Plock soundtrack as well, which is also way more extra than it ever needed to be.
He also did Silver Surfer.
Yes, Silver Surfer is the other one he did. That's really,
Yeah.
really terrible game with a fantastic
and
soundtrack.
Solstice also has a banger soundtrack.
Yeah. That guy was amazing, like with what he did on the NES hardware. And SNES hardware because of Plot.
Yes, the same Waterworld as Universal Studios. Kevin Costner's own Waterworld was a Super Nintendo game. That actually wasn't. The game was better than the movie. I'm not sure what that really.
Yeah, Tim Follin. That's it. Tim Follin.
Why was that marked as
sensitive,
like content, like as controversial content?
You can't just say Tim's name like that. You don't know what sort of dark secrets will be summoned whenever you mention Tim Follin.
Okay, I typed in Waterworld SNES, and the first thing that came up was composer.
Excellent. That's how you know.
Yeah. Dean Evans. I don't know who Dean Evans is. He's a British composer.
Apparently, they are one to make bangers.
Yeah, we have a lot of good composers. Donkey Kong Country soundtrack. Dean that's Evans. All thanks to us in Britain.
Yeah, he also did Eek the Cat for the SNES.
Absolute
Eek
classic.
The Cat.
Eek the Cat.
Absolute classic, guys.
Yeah. Classics of Gaming, which is also a great channel, by the way. YouTube channel, Classics of Gaming.
I mean, I don't think there's really anything else I wanted to bring up. Happy Halloween, guys. We'll be doing a Halloween stream. We have a charity stream coming up, which I don't know. I mean, Colin should know more about.
I mean, we haven't sorted out any definite details of it yet, but once we have, we'll obviously make an announcement about it. But
right on.
We'll have to get superstar guest Tris Game Explain on.
I'll go ahead and start donating my coffee money to the charity.
But so I mean, obviously Halloween is next week. I'll be doing Pokemon stream. If you're here listening in and you haven't subscribed to our Twitch yet, what are you doing? Like, come on.
Yeah, we always get if we stream something like Twitch is just kind of a little bit better for streaming, obviously, than YouTube. And when we do a stream on YouTube, we usually get I'd say it's substantially more people than Twitch. So if you follow us on YouTube, go follow us on Twitch too, so you can get even more Source Gaming content. Because I think we're gonna start streaming more on there.
Yeah, I want to take more advantage of stuff on Twitch, because if you build it out more, that you get a lot more features that you can offer the people who are watching and listening to, who are listening to the streams and stuff. There's more stuff you can do on it, and I think it would be good for everyone.
If you watch them on Twitch, they'll give you a free high five. That's pretty cool.
I guarantee that is true. I will give you a free
All
high
five. Fives are coming 100% from one member of the staff. You don't get a choice in which member.
Yeah.
Purple Complex says we should try to get Tris Game Explain on our team. He's beyond us. He's beyond our reach. He's a pretty cool guy. I think maybe we can get him on for some guest spots.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Kind of wild.
Follow us on Twitch, playing Pokemon, playing Gex, playing Clubhouse games, Halloween,
playing lots of Rogue Company. You can watch me be terrible at first-person shooters.
Next Good Morning Source Gaming will technically be the day after Halloween, but we're gonna make it Halloween themed anyway, I think, because why not?
Yeah. And are we doing a stream for something on Halloween? Yeah.
I mean, if you guys want to in the evening, I'm doing Pokemon during the day, but that'll be my afternoon, evening, but your guys' day.
Truly the most horrible of games.
On Saturday, this time next Saturday, Pokemon Crown Tundra. Let's go see what big brain boys we can find. And catch on that.
If it's on Halloween, you should just do the entire stream with nothing but Pumpkaboo.
I have to capture Pumpkaboo first.
Capture Pumpkaboo.
Is Pumpkaboo
level it up.
even in Sword and Shield?
Yeah, Mr. Mind says he just doesn't like Twitch. We're still going to be on YouTube too, guys. So don't worry, you can find us here. But if you do have
BWS
Twitch,
show.
please subscribe.
That is something we are doing. The BWS show. We're updating the staff page on the website. We're updating a few things on the website, and hopefully you'll be able to see more of that in November. But look forward to that, because that'll be good if it gets off the ground properly, like I want it to. Thank you, probably Peyton. Love our content. Love Raio's content as well.
Okay, thanks, man.
I
sometimes have content every couple of months.
Also following on Twitch. Excellent. I can already see the follows coming in. Excellent. All right, but I think Pumpkin was in the base game. All right, I'll have a look for one. But all right, I think this is a good time to wrap it up. So thank you everybody who tuned in this week. Thank you, Raio, for coming on this week as I get a special guest.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Yeah, we should do it again sometime.
Definitely, yeah. I'll just have to pay another $25 before I can get my admin fee.
Just we've got to wait for our coffee to arrive first, and then yeah. And then we will so next week look forward for episode 53 Halloween one. Watch my Pokemon stream on the Saturdays. It'll be the same sort of time this is, just Saturday. And there might be a partner direct this week. So if there is, we might react to it, as long as Nintendo doesn't just drop it in complete nonsense time.
We need more Bakugan information. So
yeah, exactly. We need to know before it comes out. So
give it like 30 minutes. You're gonna drop it right now.
But all right, thank you very much, guys. As always, patrons on screen, because now I could start doing end stuff during this Good Morning Source Gaming, because we've got a good setup going. But have a good rest of your Sundays, and we will chat to you guys another time. Laters.
Bye, guys.
See ya.